would you like to see him in like a teaching capacity? You know how Justice is kind of going around as a cop right now.
Why you gotta
Do
do that?
you know he's running around as a cop right now trying to arrest the champions? Is that like where do you see Lightning and who do you kind of want taking that story?
First and foremost, the last time I saw Justice,
Uh-huh.
I think he was doing something out in space, and I think somebody called all the Marvel boys, and like he turned, and so did Novar, and all of them.
Uh-huh.
The cute moment. That was the last time I will recognize Justice.
Okay. Well, he's a cop now.
Until we.
Hi, hello, hello, hello. We are coming to you live from the green carpet.
I know that's
Where are
right.
you? What segment of the carpet are you at?
Oh, I'm just over here in the sword area,
Oh, in the
looking up at the stars.
so frenzy. I said, hey.
That's all I know how to say what's up.
I'm in Excalibur section. 'Cause where else would I be?
Exactly.
Hello, everybody. I am Keenan.
I am LZ.
How are you doing this week, LZ?
I'm good. It's been a very busy week because we were like off on Monday, so that just pushes everything back. So work was really busy and all of that. And then like I'm getting old, child. So like I remember there were times where like after work I would be like, all right, I'm gonna go to the gym, and then like
Mm-hmm.
I do a bunch of other stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
if I'm up, I can go to bed at like midnight or like
Midnight.
1 a.m. Yeah, I'm the night owl.
Oh no, I'm asleep by like 9:30. I cannot stay up late anymore. You talk about old. Mm-mm.
I do want to say that when this comes out, speaking of getting older and all that, when this
Oh my
comes out, it'll be after your birthday. So happy birthday to you,
Thank
everybody.
you.
I'm sure you
Yeah.
guys online and wish Keenan a happy birthday. I wish you nothing but love. I love you.
Don't get me emotional. Don't get me emotional right now. I can't let people see that side of me. Stone face. But no, I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yes, my birthday is coming up. I will be older again. But one thing that never gets old is these comic books. So let's go ahead and let's get into talk about those for the week. Oh my gosh, we're gonna start with Justice League.
Okay.
Now, Justice League. Justice League is written by Brian Michael Bendis and it has art from Dave Marquez. There's also a backup going on, Justice League Dark from Ram V and artist Zermeko. Now, the Justice League Dark backup is phenomenal. Ram V is telling such an exciting story that is taking these characters on this like magical journey. Merlin is trying to find these lost books to empower himself. He wants to probably rule, destroy the world. We all know how that goes. And the team is working together to find the books before him. Now, I don't know if you remember, I told you that
Always wild
Zatanna's been having some.
when it's like the bad guy. I'm always so used to hearing him be like good and
I like
outside
it
of
when he's
comics.
the bad guy.
I think it's cool. Yeah, like when you read old King Arthur or any of that kind of stuff,
uh,
he's usually the one helping out or whatever.
hmm
Uh,
No, he's definitely kind of like bad here, and he has like this really nice design. It's got like this the old Arthurian legend kind of sword and sorcery look, but it's like modernized. It's got these feathers in his armor. It's hot. It's hot. He's got like his hair cut. He's looking
okay,
good. Um, and we find out why Zatanna's been having her confidence issues. So while they're in this big library looking for these mystical books, Ragman actually picks up a book, and the book is titled Justice League Dark 2021, and it says it's written by Ram V. And so when he opens it up to a random page, it gets to like section 28 of the book, and it says this is where the readers find out that Zatanna hasn't been using her magic because the Upside Down Man is still trapped in her body, and one of the characters is going to find out right now, and that's when Ragman. And so like that's when Ragman closes the book. He's like, what?
That is really cool.
Yeah. So it was like really dope to see. And then that's going on, but the backup is super exciting. The main Justice League story, however, I don't know. This is like we talk about Bendis a lot. We've talked about him and how he is a legend. You know, he has done things in the comic book industry that a lot of people still do to this day. He elevated tons of characters who have huge platforms right now. He's created a bunch of fantastic new characters who are going to have longevity in Marvel, and I don't know about DC yet, but Marvel for a long time.
And
but
written so many like iconic stories for Marvel that have been not only like the general public know, but have been turned into movies and all that kind of stuff. So
and he's even got his own creator-owned stuff that's been really amazing and gotten high praise. This Justice League book's not good. And this is Bendis, all of his ticks, all of his nasty little bad ticks that you kind of can glaze over, all wrapped in one. The Bendis speak is at an all-time high. The plot is so decompressed. The characters feel so out of place in how they talk and how they speak. I still don't know what Naomi's powers are. He keeps telling me how she's this. This is 62. Now, mind you, he hasn't been writing this book for all 62 issues, but he's been writing long enough. First of all, he's been writing Naomi long enough that I should know what her powers are by now. It has been
Didn't she also write her solo book? Didn't she have a solo book?
She has been appearing in Action Comics. She has appeared in Young Justice. She had her own little miniseries. Now she's here. I still do not know what this girl's powers are. She comes around to do nothing. Apparently, she can fly. She caught Superman in this issue. And there's a little blurb about how she's this Omega-powered being, but they still don't know what it is. And I'm just like, I'm tired. I don't even care anymore. She has a TV show coming out.
Right. So what they
don't know anything about this girl.
Where's she from?
The planet they're on now. I don't even remember the name of it. But they're there. Queen Hippolyta comes to the Hall of Justice and she runs into Flash and she talks about how in the first encounter she was kind of rude and she didn't mean to be that way. And Flash is telling her, "Don't worry, we haven't even had a second thought about it." And yeah, he even says, he's like, "Oh wait, that sounds rude." But they say something about how he sent them to Naomi's universe, and then he realizes he miscalculated, so they have to go meet them there, and they're talking about how the world is poisoning them and it's affecting all their powers, and they have to get back. But then another big bad comes, and he says, "Hey," to Naomi, and issue ends. It's just not. I just don't enjoy it.
Yeah, and that sounds like the Legion book that I had with him writing. I'm a big Legion of Superheroes fan, and the Bendis speak was just you could literally have changed any of those characters into anybody else, and it wouldn't have been changed.
And that's all this is, and it is just like so. And I do not like his Black Canary. Oh, I love me some Black Canary. I cannot stand his Black Canary.
Oh no! I feel like she was probably a part of the reason you picked the book up.
And she is, and her and Hawkgirl are having their powers affected in the opposite way of Superman, whereas he's getting weaker. They're like super strong. Her canary cry is like knocking people back into galaxies and all this stuff. It's amazing for her in a power upgrade type of way. But the way she speaks and the way she acts, I just can't get into it.
Mm.
So, if I had to give the main story anything, I would give it a 2.5 out of 5. And it's only getting a 2.5 because of Marquez's art. It is fantastic.
Oh yeah, he is also another one that's like a legend, goated.
Carries the story, this story for us. However, in that same regard, the Justice League Dark backup, I would give that. I would only give it a 3.5 out of 5 just because it's so short. If it was like its own issue, I could for sure give it a 4 out of 5. But even so, and it's even so because in this backup, in the few issues that we've had, Ram V has progressed that story more than Bendis has progressed his main story. in Justice League. It's like he's doing it 8 pages.
Now see, I'm the kind of bitch that would be embarrassed if we in the same book and your book is doing a lot, your portion of the book is doing a lot better than mine. I would feel embarrassed.
I don't know. But that's Justice League for you.
Uh,
Next up, a good book, The Swamp Thing #4, written by Ram V.
So this is
You
him on his
know?
own book.
This is him on his own book. He has art from Mike Perkins and the art from Mike Spicer. They are like a fantastic team together on the art and colors. They create such a sense of mood and tone. Like it's very horror-esque, but it's also kind of sad. Oh, it's good. And so in this, the main character, Levy, he's the new Swamp Thing. He is in the Green, and he is meeting the former avatar of the Green, Eric Holland. And they're basically just kind of going over what the Green is. And they talk about how it's memory and how it is the collective of every person who has basically come across the earth and everything that it knows, but someone's corrupted it, and it's like having trouble remembering things. And so apparently the Green is having trouble remembering the goodness of humanity. And it's basically going to destroy them all soon.
Well,
and so remember that everything horrible is done. And so on the flip side of that, Levy's homegirl Jennifer, she's also in the Green with him, and she has been found by another avatar of the Green who's kind of taking her through it, telling her, you know, if your friend is here and he truly has been taken, he's not going to be the person you know him as, and you got to start getting ready for that because you're going to be terrified of him. So, but Levy goes to the Green. He finds this being. He kind of discovers that the day his dad died, his brother was trying to create some magical pact with the demon to save the dad that failed, and that is what corrupted the Green.
Oh.
Yeah. And so they get back to the real world. He's now got to, I guess, go find his brother. But the people who were kind of investigating him, they find a portion of the plants that he brought back from the Green. The guy calls Amanda Waller, and Amanda Waller is like, I need you to send some, like, have you ever heard of the Holland Project? And so it's her and the Suicide Squad. And so it looks like they're going to come looking for Swamp Thing soon.
Oh.
Very good book.
Harley?
Very good book. Harley was not on the page, I don't think. It was, I don't even remember. I really only saw Waller. Like, there was some people in the back, but you know I think Peacemaker was in there, because you know the Suicide Squad has changed. I don't actually know if Harley's on the new iteration of the team.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It changed post Future State.
Oh.
Yeah. But I would give this a 4 out of 5. Yeah, for sure, 4 out of 5. Again, story's good. It's giving. It's doing what it needs to do.
Okay. Shout out to invigorating some Swamp Thing.
Because I needed it. Next up on our list is Black Cat #7. It's another Superstar team. That's Jed MacKay and Mike Dowling on the art. So Jed MacKay's getting up there too.
Like, you know what? I think I might just jump into this. I was trying to like catch up on some other stuff and read the first volume of Black Cat that he was writing before this one. But I really enjoyed his Taskmaster. Like, I think that was one of the probably in my top 5 books from the year so far. Okay. And if he is doing that with Black Cat, then I should probably jump in.
So in this one, Black Cat's mentor Fox, he formed a deal with this giant demon he gave him the deed of Manhattan, so the demon would give Fox and Felicia immortality. Felicia's like, you know, you kind of screwed over the whole town of Manhattan. She's like, I'm a person, I'm not a hero. She's like, I do what I need to do. I do bad things to get my way. She's like, but I even have my limits. I even have my own reputation and just a conscience that I have to listen to. So she goes back to the place where the deed is, and she blows it up. and the deal with the demon becomes broken, so he comes to grab Fox and she gives up her immortality. But the entire issue is basically her kind of going through the story of how she gets into this place and how she makes this deal and how she outsmarts him. And it's just really poignant and it's really well done. It's a great look into Felicia and just how she is. And again, she's not a hero. She does what needs to be done, and that sometimes is a bad thing, and she still feels it. But even so, when the demon's taking the guy, he's like, you did what you needed to do. You are who I raised you to be, who I taught you to be, and I love you. And she's like crying, and she loves her. And then she goes back to her mob boss girlfriend, Odessa Drake, and they like kiss in the dark. It's a nice little cute ending.
Okay.
Prepping for the LGBT during Pride Month.
I know that's right.
Um, yeah, 4 out of 5. I think this was a nice little ending to this particular arc. Again, it moves Felicia forward in a way. She's just a very interesting character. I'm into
You know what? I've been really enjoying you reading this, and it's kind of what's making me want to jump into it too. Because I remember before this started, you were like, "Oh, I think I like Black Cat, but I've never read anything about her. I really want to jump into it." And like, I feel like this series has really taken off and shown you more of her as a character.
Yeah, absolutely. She is that girl. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I put her in the top 10 just yet, but
she working her way there.
She might be working her way up there.
Okay.
We've had some shockers this year.
Oh yeah. Okay. This year has definitely been another one for the books of realizing some characters that you like more than others.
So we'll see how this goes. But next up on our list, I'm gonna have to talk about this one too. We have Immortal Hulk number 47. That's Al Ewing and Joe Bennett. We are boiling down to the end of this run, and I know I've kind of like skipped a couple of issues talking about this one, but again, I know y'all ain't reading Immortal Hulk just yet, so it's fine. We're going when it's all
it sells well.
When it's all collected. Okay, consistency. I love it.
It sells well.
But if you haven't been reading, when it's a full omnibus with its 50 issues, I expect everyone to get it. But this issue in particular was great because it's narrated by She-Hulk. Oh. Basically, the Avengers have run into the Hulk, and they're all fighting, of course. And so She-Hulk is talking about, just her proximity with Bruce and how she feels everybody kind of getting more angry while they're around him, and she can feel and she can sense like chaos and like gamma radiation just emanating off of him and infecting everybody. And she talks about her experience with it and how he's created all these other Hulks and all this other stuff. And he's fighting the Avengers, and then Gamma Flight pops in, and Gamma Flight is a new team that has been basically tracking the Hulk, and it's Titania, Crusher Creel, Puck is on it, Doc Samson's in it. And so they show up, and of course, they're all people who fight the Avengers all the time. So Creel's like, yeah, I want to fight Captain America. Titania's like, yeah, I'm going to fight She-Hulk, obviously, because who else does she tussle with?
I love Titania.
And while all that's going on, Black Panther and Thor kind of trying to fight Hulk down and beat him. Thor even, like, breaks his hand off with his hammer. He, like, fries it off with lightning in the hammer, but then Hulk grows it back. And he's doing it over his face, and Thor's like suffocating to death. So Black Panther comes in and cuts the arm back off. Like, it's just really intense. It's like really good stuff.
Okay.
So through it all, Betty Ross is back as well, and she has been turned into a gamma radiated creature. She's like a red harpy. They call her harpy now. Mm-hmm. She's got like these bird wings and these little claws. It's real nasty. And she's basically to Jen, and she's like, you see all this chaos. You've seen the Green Door, which is how the Hulks have been kind of coming back to life. And you know about all this stuff. You know the chaos. She's like, what are you going to do? And so Jen is just like, damn. And so she does one of her big, like, one of her signature moves is she claps and, like, pushes everybody back with a giant shockwave. And
the Hulk claps?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she does that. And so it shoots everybody back. She grabs Hulk, Harpy. They go with Gamma Flight to get out the way. And she's just like, yeah, I know that chaos can't combat the Hulk. It's like love. And then the final page is like Hulk and Harpy making out. It's like these two giant monsters kissing. It's gross.
Sounds like
it's nice. It's just really good. It was a really great issue. I'm really excited to see how this ends. 50th is number is the last one. 4.5 out of 5
Wow.
for sure.
I feel like Immortal Hulk has really been one of those books that has been so consistently praised that
Mm-hmm.
I would not be surprised if this run becomes one of those like iconic must read.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've said it before. I'm never going to read a book about the Hulk again.
Well, I saw
After
you getting a
this.
creative team after this, right?
Yeah, I'm not reading that.
I mean, I'm not
Who
either.
was writing it again?
Oh, Danny Cates.
Oh yeah, no, 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 no,
Cates?
no. Cats.
Cates?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Don
the
Kate.
dude who writes Venom.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I'm not reading that.
Yeah,
That's not for me.
that's not for me either. But I feel like it's gonna sell. I know that.
And it's really interesting to see which of these characters kind of sell and don't sell. Because did you see the promo for the new the Death of Doctor Strange?
Yeah, I did. I saw that they were gonna be coming out with that later this year.
And I was like, is there a Doctor Strange book going on
Right.
right now? I was just like, oh, I was like, this just feels really random. But again, I think of Doctor Strange as one of those characters. He's had a lot of solo runs as well. But I was like, have they ever actually sold well or done well? Because I never hear anyone talking about them. They just kind of pop up. And now here we are again. He's about to die.
I
So
don't think they do so well. I don't know why. I don't know if maybe they just haven't really tapped into like more things to explore for him. But I don't really think his solo books sell that well. Otherwise, they wouldn't relaunch them. He gets a new one like every year.
they need to make Clea the Sorcerer Supreme.
Oh, they haven't done that yet. They never did that story before.
No, it's time though.
I wonder who they.
I mean, it's been like Wiccan.
I thought he don't do magic.
I mean, he
See,
doesn't, but
the
I mean, what do you? I don't know what you want me to think. I don't know what you want me to say. He doesn't, but hey, we're gonna take it. All right, let me get to the next book on this. Speaking of magic, Heroes Reborn #5. Now, this is the event of the summer. Let me tell you. Jason Aaron and R.M. Guerrera would do this issue. And this issue, oh my gosh. This issue is all about Nighthawk. I'm a Nighthawk fan.
Okay. Isn't
I
he
don't know what Jason.
a fighter that was? Isn't he from Chicago?
Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah, that's him. The story that Jason Aaron told in this book, man, let me tell you. So he basically has Nighthawk. There in the beginning, Craven of this universe is Nighthawk's enemy. He's like donning his suit. He's trying to break into this prison to kill him, but Nighthawk stops him, and then he goes into this mental war where he's fighting off all of these other people who he has already beaten back. There's like a crazy version of Moon Knight in there. Sabretooth is in there. Somebody else in there that was pretty cool, and they talk about just him and his past and how he grew up and how he deals with all this like anger and just like madness and rage and how he relates to these like sociopaths and serial killers. And I'm just like, yes, this is my kind of story. And they're just like fighting, and his sidekick is Gwen Stacy, who goes by the name of Night Gwen. Well, he calls her Nightbird, but she likes to call herself Night Gwen. And she has been like kidnapped by his villain, who's kind of like this Venom type of hybrid thing, and Venom Green Goblin hybrid type of villain. And so we see a flashback that he was also partnered with Falcon in the past, and that this Venom Green Goblin guy killed Falcon, and now he's trying to kill Gwen the same way. But of course, Nighthawk kind of saves her, and they talk about how they don't kill, and so, but she ends up killing him anyway. She's pretty hardcore.
Okay.
But they basically, at the end, they stop the breakout of this prison, mental hospital type of situation, and they're going through the files, and they see that all of the inmates have been returned to their cells except for one, and that is Miss Maya Lopez, codename Echo. And he sees the video footage of her being escorted out with like Captain America, Blade, and all that stuff. And he's like, what is going on? Because he also has a sense that this world isn't right. But he's saying he like knows, he's like, he still feels like he is exactly where he's supposed to be. and he doesn't want to be the person who tries to take that away from him. And that's when he sees them on the screen.
Oh, is she still a Phoenix or no?
Yeah, she is, but whatever.
Oh.
The second part of the story is Jason Aaron and Ed McGuinness again, and it's called The Quest of Ronin, and we see like a Ronin fighting Nighthawk. And he's like, I'm trying to figure out something's not right about this world, blah, 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 blah. They're going tussling back and forth. We end up seeing this Ronin go back to Wakanda because he is Black Panther. And as he gets back, that's when Steve Rogers, Echo, and Blade walk up on him, and they're like, we know you're not in the right world either. We need you to help us. And that's what the issue ends.
So that was Black Panther, as in T'Challa, right?
Yes, that's correct.
It's always interesting that whenever he's in an Elseworlds, they try to like take him into space.
Yeah. No. It's
I only say that because I know that What If cartoon, he's gonna be the Star-Lord. And then
is he?
Yeah. And like the What If cartoon series that's coming out, it's what if T'Challa was Star-Lord, like if he was picked up.
I mean, I guess when you're already on the ground, where else is there to go?
I know I like it. No complaints from me.
All right. Okay, and so, I'll rate this. This was a good week for comics. I'll rate this 4 out of 5 too. Like the Nighthawk story was like amazing. Like, I actually read it back to back before I even read the second part of the story with Black Panther and him meeting up with Steve Rogers and them. Like I went back and read the entire Nighthawk story because it was everything. I love it. This is the origin gave you a vibe of obviously Batman, but then you still get a little bit of Moon Knight in there. You get a little bit of Spider-Man in there. The villains, he dated Black Cat. It was just like, yeah, this is great. This is what I read comics for.
You know what? Maybe I'll read Heroes Reborn when it's all done as like a nice Elseworld story that I could check out. I'm interested to see whatever they do coming out of Heroes Reborn, though. Are we gonna a big resurgence of Adventures books? Like, what's going on?
I know. Again, I know they're doing this thing called Heroes Return, and so I'm pretty sure that's going to be the new Avengers team. So I'm pretty sure the team that's being formed in this book is going to be the new Avengers team. So Steve, Blade, Echo, T'Challa, the Star Brand baby, maybe Groot. I don't know. Maybe Okoye, because the Marvel's really been pushing Okoye lately.
Yeah. Is she doing something with Iron Fist? I think I saw.
She popped up in his book. I don't know what she did though.
Oh.
But that's that. And so the next, these are the final 3 books on our list. And we're coming live from the green carpet. And so I'm going to kind of do these all together since it is one big event for the Hellfire Gala. We finally entered it, and that is for Marauders number 20 by Jerry Duggan and Matteo Lally. We have X-Force that was Marauders number 21, and X-Force number 20 from Benjamin Percy and Joshua Cassar, and then Hellions number 12 from Zeb Wells and Steven Segovia. Now, we finally entered the gala. How do you feel about the gala as a whole?
It's fun. Like, as a whole, like, kind of kick off to an event. I'm interested to see how the setup for this and the payoff kind of works, because it feels as though because we start with Marauders, you are, starting with everyone kind of arriving for the event, and the issue ends at like midnight. So it's like after whatever something major happened. So it seems as though all the other books are going to be basically like building to that moment or whatever before midnight. So I thought that was an interesting way to kind of build something up. I don't think we've really had a X book kind of do that in a while, where you kind of see the ending already and kind of work your way backwards. So that's interesting. I thought that the little playful setups in all of this were kind of fun. In this Marauders book, you had the Cuckoos kind of, they're reading like that one girl from Ferendi's mind, and they were trying to make her remember. My personal guess is that she is also a cuckoo, and they made her forget that she was, or something. Or like something kind of made her forget, and now they're kind of waking it up and making her remember. Um, and then, yeah, I thought a lot of the cameos in it, I didn't know. I'm not gonna lie. But like by cameos, I mean the celebrity cameos. Like
Yeah,
there were obvious moments where
there
comic
was somebody.
characters were interacting with a celebrity, and it was like this is clearly like somebody got to deal with Marvel or ABC and Disney, and they were obligated to be in this book. But again, I was like, who even is this? I don't know who this is. There was a moment in Hellions where Exodus was like talking to someone, and they were like, "Oh, long time no see," and I was like, "Who the hell is that?" But I still don't know. So if anybody knows, tell me. But yeah, I thought it was an interesting little kind of setup. I really liked the end. Jump back to Marauders, I really liked the the I won't call it a backup story because it was still written by Jerry Duggan, but like the flashback story
Mm-hmm.
where it kind of pulled everything full circle, and they talked about the Hellfire Gala before. I appreciate when things like this are done and like
Mm-hmm.
the past is brought back up and like respected because Marvel has never rebooted before.
Yeah.
So, and because of that, some things can kind of get forgotten, or I think sometimes certain plot points fans take further than I think that they were supposed to be. So like they think that they should be canon, even though I don't think they are supposed to be. Like it was just a story. So I do appreciate when like certain things are brought back up, like Sebastian is the one who started the Sentinels.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like a lot of like readers kind of forgot that part about him because that was a story that happened like back in the 80s or whatever, like when he was kind of introduced back before Phoenix Saga, I think. So I liked in Marauders that this kind of brought it back around. They even brought back like the old art. I don't know if these were the actual pages from
Just
the old book
remastered.
or just remastered, but I liked it. I don't know anything about this Lourdes girl or whoever.
I mean, that's all. That was literally her only issue. Yeah, like so. That's all there is.
Yeah, so I guess we'll see more of her going
Yeah.
forward. I guess she's a teleporter too. So
I
that'll be
thought it was
interesting.
interesting, in Marauders of like how you said they did the ending of the issue was at midnight, and it seemed like obviously everybody was kind of going through it. Something had just gotten announced and it had shaken a lot of the political leaders up. But I also thought it was interesting. We already know that Magneto was supposed to kill somebody at the gala. No one seemed to really mention any type of murder or death or something like that, and so it makes me wonder
That's
if
what makes me think that I don't think he's gonna kill anyone.
okay. I mean, I always thought he was just going to be set up. I didn't think
Mm.
he should kill anybody. But I thought that was interesting. It was like everyone's kind of reacting to the news, so it's like, does he kill someone in the middle and they just keep partying? Does he kill someone, and then we still get the announcement later? Do he does he actually kill someone after the announcement? Are these people just leaving because of whatever it just got announced? So I'm interested to see how the rest of it flows out.
Mhm.
Um, Moving on to the X Force issue, I love Deadpool, so I thought this was a very fun issue. I will also say that the character
I
arc
do
that
not.
Beast has had.
Deadpool is Deadpool is annoying as shit to me, but I understand the purpose he serves.
He's great. He is fantastic. I will also say that the character arc that Beast has gone through to become this really despicable character is so well done.
Yes.
And it has been carried so seamlessly from writer to writer to writer across multiple eras of the X line since Decimation, when it really started, because he was trying to like figure out a way to cure it or fix it, and that's when he originally kind of started working with Dark Beast, and then we've just seen it move on from like Secret Invasion, to when he killed a bunch of the scrolls, to what was it? The trial of Beast, when he brought the O5 back without anybody's permission. He's just been going down such this horrible path,
Mhm.
and it feels so believable, and I'm kind of into it. I'm not
Yes.
gonna lie. He's
Self-righteous
awful.
and like I'm gonna do what I want to do, and I am the smartest person in this room. Don't question me, Beast has been so consistent because that's who he is.
Okay.
But I will say that not every writer like is good at like portraying that. Sometimes they'll just
Mhm,
stick to him being like, super smart and oh my stars and garters kind of thing.
mhm.
But I appreciate, like you said, the writers that actually show his personality, and it's been so consistently shown that it
Yeah.
might be time to set up some space in the hole
Okay.
because I think it's time for him to go down there.
Is yeah, because he's getting there. What he was doing at this party was, oh man.
The spying and using like the telephonics to like spy
Hmm.
on the people. First of all, it's gross because they look like germs crawling all over the people. And again, shout out to Joshua Cassara's art. I enjoy his art a lot. And the way that he's able to kind of convey the germy things crawling on them was really cool. Uh, I do want to know though, it's been so consistently shown through these books that like when Tony arrived, he didn't go through a gate. He flew there, and he like didn't want to wear a leaf,
A flower.
flowers.
Yeah.
And do you think that was just because he didn't want any kind of like to be tracked or anything by them, or there's something more sinister that he has?
No, I truly think it was kind of what he said. Like, I don't trust any of you, and and yeah, and honestly, I respect it because hey,
Yeah.
like I'd rather you be upfront. Like, and I love the dichotomy of the relationship they showed between Tony and Steve and the rest of the X characters,
Yeah.
where Steve is like again very kind of open and welcoming to it, and he's like seeing things, and Tony's very much like, nah, that's not me.
Tony was like, I don't know what the hell y'all going to be doing, but oh
Tony
well.
was like, yeah,
Whereas Cap at the end was like, I've seen people talk about some stuff like this. Good luck. I don't know
yeah.
how well it's going to turn out, but good luck.
So, and I love when the X Men are getting along with Steve Rogers.
Yeah, well, Steve.
I do. It's like it's what it should be. I do. I also just again back to Marauders really quick. But when Emma was having that moment where she was looking at Steve, she was like, what's one night?
you know,
And
it's
King
like,
was
she's
like,
like, maybe I see some now.
yeah, and she's like, I think I got it. In case like no. Um, and then I think the strongest issue of this opening of the Hellfire Gala was definitely the Hellions issue by far.
Consistent
It's
quality.
it's also made me realize something though, and that is that while it is amazing, this is probably going to be my last issue of this book.
Oh, damn. You
I
dropped this
just
thing?
it is so funny. It is so well written. The character bonds that are forming are done so well. You feel like the connection between the team members. Nanny is absolutely hilarious. You love the way that she hates Sinister because it's like I hate Sinister the same way. Um,
She cracked that bottle and was ready to cut him.
yeah, she was getting wasted. She said Mama was out.
Okay.
Mama was
Peter,
out the
Peter, leave me
house.
alone. I'm ready.
Okay. Um, But I just do not care about any of these characters.
Is it Psylocke?
No, it's not even her. It's really like Greyco, Wild Child, and Orphan Maker, and Alex. And honestly, Psylocke is the only one. Psylocke, Sinister, and Nanny are like the characters I actually enjoy in this book. And then even with Psylocke, sometimes I look at it and I'm like, I enjoy it, but I also kind of already read this story with Betsy. And
Yeah.
it's like I get y'all are different characters, but you running around using the name in the suit. I literally have seen this before, and I was over it then. So,
Mm. The cool ninja.
um, yeah, so it's like, okay, it's like cool, I get it. Like you're doing your thing, you're getting some great character development over here, but it's just like, yeah, I already read this. And I don't like any of the men on the team. And Nanny, I'm gonna miss Nanny.
Yeah, that's
She's
fair.
my girl.
I've only really ever been into this book because it's just so well written. um, I mean, you know my brand. I've talked about my brand on this show. Like none of my brand is represented here. But like, it's so well written that I'm into what the stories being told here. I do like Sinister in
Hmm.
this. I think my favorites in it are probably Sinister, Psylocke, and whenever Exodus shows up. Honestly, that's my favorite part. Is whenever he shows up. But and I really wish he was like in an ongoing or something, because that would alleviate a lot of my issues with only getting crumbs. But I like Hellions a lot. With this book, you see they only Psylocke and Havoc were invited, and Sinister shows up and is like, "Look at my outfit. Hello, ladies. Get information. Only Havoc and Psylocke are coming with me. The rest of you bums stay at home." They didn't like that, obviously, so they end up crashing the party and just hijinks and stuff there.
Well, y'all come in causing a scene in the party, getting drunk, breaking glasses.
I did like, though, there was another cameo in this book from a favorite of mine. Polaris shows up.
Oh, yes.
I appreciated the conversation that she had with Havoc, because I'd have been there. Relatable. But I did also really appreciate that they are really defining that they are not together. He is still like whatever in love with Maddie, or just wanting to do right by her or something. Oh no. But whatever. And of course, Polaris is like, "Hey, it's nice that you still like that girl, but
okay,
I don't know what to tell you." They made the decision.
She's not coming back. and that's the other thing about Alex too. Like, you are sitting in here pining about Madeline Pryor, your brother's ex-wife, who is a clone of his current wife.
Yeah.
You're weird. Like, it's getting weird. Like, you need to chill out. You need to calm down, sir. It's not that deep.
You're on an island full of girls.
There's too many men in this book. Where are Fantasia, Sienna Blaze, Trinity? These are the people who we want to see.
Yeah. I mean,
Mastermind.
I feel like I would not be surprised if later Mastermind probably joins this book eventually. And I would not be surprised if Wells ends up expanding this roster post Gala.
Okay.
Because it looks like they're going to be dealing with Otherworld, basically like their Otherworld counterparts, or who they can take on.
We'll see. I mean, for now, I'll keep up with the book via Marvel Unlimited and reviews from my friends. But I mean, unless the roster changes, then maybe I'll run back.
How would you rate all three of these books?
I would rate Marauders a 3 out of 5. I felt like it was a very soft opening. Again, kind of just like a meeting of the people of the gala. I would give X-Force a 3.5 out of 5. I loved the entire scene with Beast and the telephonics and like how he was treating people. While I did enjoy the Deadpool aspect, I don't necessarily think it was completely necessary.
Yeah.
And I would give Hellions, it just keeps getting better and better. I would give Hellions a 4 out of 5. Thought the art was great. The team was great. The team and Betsy even popped up for a little quick second. Her and Quanah had a moment.
Right. Her and Quanah had a moment. How'd you feel about that?
I mean, it's fine. They're going to be like friends now. I like their entire situation was always kind of weird. And I like that Quanah's finally been able to deal with like, yes, this happened to me, but it also happened to you. And I was mad at you about it, but I've also gotten it out of my system now because I know it wasn't completely your fault.
Yeah. And I actually did appreciate her saying, like, I don't think she necessarily said we will never be friends, but she was like, we have an understanding.
Yeah. And that can heal anything. But they're definitely going to go the route of being sisters one day. So good for them.
Is that what you want? Do you want them to be sisters?
I mean, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. I was perfectly fine with them having a Carol Rogue type of dynamic, where it's very much like, I can work with you, but we ain't gonna never be homegirls.
I love that.
Like, and that's just how you gotta deal with it. Like, I was A-okay with that, but if they want to go this route where at least they can like be in the same room together and like be cool, that's fine.
Share drinks and stuff. Well, we'll see. I would give Marauders a 3.5 to me. I think it was a really solid opening and really set up a lot of stuff to come. I would give X-Force also a 3.5 out of 5 for me. The art makes up for the Deadpool for me, to be honest. If I could be all the way honest. And Hellions, again, for me, gets a 4 out of 5. I wouldn't be mad at either an art or like colorist change up in Hellions, but still.
Okay. You don't dig the art?
No, it's not that I don't dig it. It's that I think that's why I think it's just the colors. I think the colors are a little too mute for me. I wish they were a little brighter. But I think sometimes I just always want my favorite artist to draw all of my favorite books, and that's just not feasible. You know. So
I understand that.
Again, 4 out of 5.
Okay. All right. Well, those are the comics of the week. Let's go ahead and take a little break, and then we'll come back for our character panel on Living Lightning.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Welcome back, y'all, to another relaunch, and this segment of the show is the panel section. And this week, we're going to do I'm mostly going to talk about a character for Living Lightning. And,
okay.
I wanted to talk a little bit about him and give some shine to him because he is a character I find really interesting, even though he hasn't really had that many appearances. And I think that he could really, make some more impacts at Marvel if they do more with other characters.
I haven't read too much with him. Honestly, I've only read the stories of him in. Oh, okay.
Yes,
a little background. The stories of him in Avengers: No Surrender.
Yeah, and you get a really good kind of grasp on his personality there, where he's like, I'm very powerful. I want to be able to use all of my powers, and I want to be a hero, but I haven't really quite figured out where I fit yet. That's probably why I like him. He fits the brand.
Very much so.
So I wanted to give a little bit of some shine to him and just talk about him for a bit. And so to start, let's get into his origin. So his name is Miguel Santos, and up until recently, he used to go by Living Lightning. It was actually in No Surrender where he changed his name to just Lightning, which I actually thought was a very cute kind of joke. We'll have to do a reread on that soon because during it, I think people kept trying to call him Living Lightning, and he kept reminding everyone, no, it's just Lightning. We're trying to get a kind of a cooler name,
yeah.
A rebrand, a relaunch, if you will. So his name is Miguel Santos. He is from East LA.
Okay.
Shout out to
one of the downtown girls.
I hear that in Los Angeles. So his dad was actually kind of a villain, kind of like an extremist group. So the Living Lightning is kind of like a cult group in the Marvel universe. And they wanted to use these machines and control lightning to take over the world, basically. The Hulk actually used to fight the Legion of the Living Lightning. I didn't know this, but this was way back in when it was the Tales of Astonishing and stuff like that, where he was fighting this. So it's interesting to see how with Miguel's kind of introduction and his origin, how they kind of use the whole let's pull from the past and just make this character the son of whoever, and kind of something we see a lot more today. But it's interesting to see that this was done back in the day, because his first appearance was actually in Avengers West Coast number 63, I think, and he is kind of where he got his powers, and that was back in 1990. So it's interesting to see in the 90s they were still even let's see how we can create new
Mm-hmm.
Or new diverse characters anyway. Yeah. So the Legion of the Living Lightning was in this extremist group that his dad was a part of. The Hulk ended up like taking that whole group out on like one of his like heroic missions.
Okay.
And the Legion was destroyed and his dad was killed.
Oh,
So
okay.
you know, it's always sad somebody did it.
Right.
So when he got older and was into high school, he wanted to learn more about this this Legion of the Living Lightning. It's hard to say. Sorry. So he broke into like their old headquarters that he found like his dad's old map to them, and broke into their headquarters. Of course, turned on a machine by accident, plugging it in. That gave him powers, turned him into the Living Lightning. So he not only could control electricity, he could also like turn into like use living energy.
Okay.
So after that, he pretty much wanted to explore with his powers and just he hit the streets, really, and
Okay. That's where you gotta go.
he started to just kind of shock stuff, throwing out lightning bolts and just trying to see what his powers could do, flying around. Little did he know he was like tearing up an entire city, not realizing just how powerful he was. So the Avengers West Coast were contacted to kind of stop him. The Human Torch actually ends up coming over to fight him and stop him. But this wasn't Fantastic Four Human Torch. This was Jim Hammond, the like robot.
Yeah, the android guy.
Yeah. So they fight. Living Lightning actually wins. So
Okay, come on.
he beats the Human Torch, and the Avengers West Coast finally show up. And kind of like Wonder Man's weakness, his weakness is since he's living energy, if you can kind of disrupt that, then he like disperses and he has to kind of pull himself back together while he's in his energy form. So that ends up what's happening. The Avengers West Coast like use this thing or whatever and disperses energy.
Yeah.
And they think they've gotten rid of him. Human Torch is like licking his wounds because he got beat. So they thought that they dispersed him. He actually ends up getting put back together by this villain named Dr. Demonicus.
Okay.
Now, Demonicus is, yeah, you probably will never. But he's like in this whole other part of Marvel, which is interesting while I'm like going through this origin of Miguel. There's so many other characters that are in the Marvel universe that I just realized that Marvel just never really uses. Like, this Dr. Demonicus person or whoever, a Hangman who is involved in this. I think you had talked about them before. Death Web, a lot of different random characters that are up.
That's a name,
right? Right. And I mean, even Demonicus was a part of something called like the Pacific Overlords, which were their own like West Coast team of villains who just wanted to like take over the world.
That's what I'm here for. We need. I miss the villains.
Yeah, we need way more like villains out there. So if anybody's listening, Marvel, pick up these villains and just I don't know. And Demonicus is like he's like human Sinister because his whole thing was he is all about like biology and can create. Okay. He would like get DNA and stuff and create new things, clones and all that kind of stuff. So he used living lightning to power his machines. So when he like recouped all of living lightning's energy, he put him in this machine and was using him to like power all his machines. Then he gave him this suit and told him that like this suit will keep you in your human form, but you have to work for me. And that's how Living Lightning pretty much joins as a villain. So we kind of had a very similar intro as Wonder Man, where he kind of started off as the villain, and then he turned and joined the team after, the team.
I'm seeing a pattern with you in the characters that you like.
I like those. Sometimes you apply your ideals and your powers a different way.
Okay. I'm not mad at it.
um, so yeah, then he joins the Avengers West Coast, and he's not on the team that long, probably for like 20, 30 issues there.
Mhm.
Then he's pretty much kind of like sidelined for a bit, although it was kind of in story. His whole thing was, I need to go to school. So he
Mhm.
got his lightning powers while he was in high school, and the Avengers invited him to come on the team as a full-time Avenger. He was actually even a part of I know I talk about this a bunch, but that Operation Galactic Storm, he was a part of uh, Monica Rambeau's team, the team that went to the Kree to kind of
Mhm.
talk to them and stuff. So he was a part of all these like kind of big missions and
Mhm.
all. So well, I think it was he on the Shi'ar team. He may have been on the Shi'ar team. Again, he mostly like on these teams. He's been there, but like not used a bunch. Um,
Mm. Okay.
he's like there fighting and like using his powers, but he's not like used a lot. So in story, he wanted to go to college. So he kind of told the Avengers he would be there as a reserve member while he went to school. You know, kind of like how Megan Thee Stallion was like, I'm a rap, but I'm also in college, but because like
I got
you
things
never
to
know.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They kind of gave him that storyline. Like, I got to
Okay.
do.
I
So
respect that.
he would occasionally pop up, and he had a little bit of a stint where, because he could turn into his lightning form, he could fly really fast.
Mhm.
She touched on that a bunch in No Surrender. Uh,
Yeah, I do remember seeing that.
yeah. Um, him and Quasar had a mission where they would like monitor this space station together, actually. And it was easy for him because he could like travel to and fro really fast with his lightning form. And though while he was up there, he would study and like get ready for. So they really like worked in there that he was kind of focusing on school just in case the whole superhero thing never worked out.
Okay.
Now, Miguel is Latino and Miguel is also gay.
Okay.
Oh.
LGBTQ plus. Hey.
The thing with Miguel though is I will say his coming out is something that just I don't know if you can necessarily wasn't done well
Okay.
as much as
Um,
it's kind of done.
was it like was it like the Gene Iceman coming out situation where like someone else outed him? Or
No, he kind of outed himself, but like it was just in a very blasé way, and it
okay.
was like, okay, we're gonna just stick with this. So his coming out happened with there's another Avengers team. Like there's
Mhm.
the close team. There's also the Great Lakes Avengers.
Mhm.
We'll get into them because like
Mhm.
that's just not my
That's the
type.
one with like they're like joke Avengers. It's typically like a Squirrel Girl and like Flat Man on it, things like that. Yeah.
I don't really get down with that. So so they invited Living Lightning to join the team,
Mhm.
and he thought the GLA stood for the Gay and Lesbian Alliance. So, so he showed up and was like, oh,
uh,
I'm here for the Gay and Lesbian Alliance. And they told him this was for the Great Lakes Avengers. And he said, oh, never mind. And then flew away. And
oh, okay.
that was pretty much it.
Okay.
So and the writer of this was Dan Slott. Um,
Oh.
now, yeah,
Oh, poor Dan Slott.
yeah. In his defense, it was like 2005, so I understand that like
It's how
the
comics were at the time.
comics were at the time, whatever. But he very much stood in, no, Living Lightning is gay now. Like that's just
Hmm.
his character, which I appreciated that being done so early
Yeah.
um, back then, and he just really stuck with it when in
Okay.
interviews and everything. And because I mean, my school didn't have a gay and lesbian alliance, but like if it did, I feel like anybody associated with it, people would just assume they were gay.
Yeah.
Or so I think back then people were wondering, oh, does that mean Living Lightning is gay because he was looking for the gay and lesbian alliance? And Slot really stuck to his guns and was like, yes, he's gay. Move on.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Okay.
so they haven't really done too much with his gayness and everything in story outside of confirming that he is gay.
Hmm.
And he did have a bit of a mentorship with Stryker. I'm not sure if you read the Avengers Academy stuff.
Academy. Yeah, I remember Striker. I think he was
Yeah,
fun.
like him. He is going to show up in one of my new Warriors relaunches.
Okay.
But he has powers similar to Miguel, and I think he's also from LA. Dang, okay.
Downtown Girls.
Yeah, I think he's also from Los Angeles. So I think they had a little bit of a like kind of mentor, we're friends thing because by the time Miguel is like college age, I think Stryker is supposed to be like high school age. So they're like kind of close enough where they had a bit of a mentorship. He was like protecting Stryker's family in a couple issues or something like that. Like they have a rapport, which I would love to see more of.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
I'd have to get more Lightning first.
Yeah, I was about to say more Lightning. Is there anyone who's like writing comic books right now that you would like to see writing Lightning?
Um,
Or not even specifically, well, also yes, writers, but also where would you like to see him fit in the Marvel universe? Because obviously, you like your cosmic adjacent heroes. Would you kind of like to see him in that regard? Do you want to see him doing more superhero stuff on the ground? Would you like to see him in like a teaching capacity? You know how Justice is kind of going around as a cop right now.
Why you gotta do that?
He's running around as a cop right now trying to arrest the champions. Is that like, where do you see Lightning and who do you kind of want taking that story?
First and foremost, the last time I saw Justice, I think he was doing something out in space, and I think somebody called all the Marvel boys, and like he turned, and so did Novar, and all of them. That was the last time I will recognize Justice.
Okay. Well, he's a cop now.
Until we. But as far as Lightning, I thought about that, and so my bias will say that I want him in space. So, he is a character that, like a lot of my faves, has kind of an energy manipulation aspect to his powers, which can really be explored a lot further in space. And those characters usually end up having more power than what's around them. So it's not like he can fight like the street level characters. He can blast them all. So my bias on the Guardians of the Galaxy with Al Ewing writing, I actually think he would fit that team well. I think he'd have a really rapport with all.
It is gays in space, so
it's gays in space.
He would work out great.
Exactly. I think what? I should put that in his ear. I should tweet him that or something.
I mean, he's taking Venom out to space too, so maybe Lightning can fight Venom or something like that.
That'll do. But I think Lightning would be great out in space. If he was not out on the Guardians team, which he's actually I think he interacted with a lot of them in a lot of different issues and in No Surrender, I think too. So that would be too far-fetched for him to kind of join that team. If he wasn't there, I would actually probably like Kelly Thompson to write him and be in the Captain Marvel book.
That would be nice. Do you think his personality would get along with Carol's?
Probably not. That's what would make it fun.
Okay.
Probably not. I think he would be more fun. He would want her to be chill out.
I can see that.
And I think he would also make a great addition in that book. He's Latino, gay, and not only that, he has a similar story with Carol where he would be kind of finding
himself.
Fits. And like himself. I think he would be great.
Okay. Lightning and Carol.
Listener. Maybe you could throw him something. Give him some background, explore his interest or whatever. I know that his thing has been he loves his powers and he loves his whole energy form, but I do think that probably there is some fear there with the disbursement of the energy and having to bring it all back together.
Okay.
He's gone on some undercover missions and stuff. He used to do some stuff back in Houston, actually, with the Scarlet Spider. There's a team out in Texas called the Rangers. So of course, the Texas Rangers. That team had like Scarlet Spider, and I think Firebird was on it. Some other characters that I think again, Marvel.
Oh, I remember that from the Avengers Initiative years. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Because I remember that Firebird cover. I was like, this is amazing. She had on, yes, iconic, iconic.
Yes,
I love it.
Lightning was a part of that team and
Okay.
was over there with them for a bit. So that was actually the last time we saw him in books consistently. And then we was able to finally get him in No Surrender. He kind of seems like that character that the writer has to like be into him to want to really bring him around. And I
Mhm.
think like Wade probably was a fan of him, and I think he was also a part of No
No,
Surrender.
sir. Okay. Okay. I mean,
Feeling
you're
like
making
was,
some.
you know,
I
kind of
think about
bubbling under character, so I think he would be great there.
he's definitely a bubbling under character for sure. I think about No Surrender. He was interesting in No Surrender. I think the energy form. I think he's got a lot going for him. Again, like we said, he's bubbling under. If the writers don't know who he is, then. But I will say, for one of his showings to be in Avengers No Surrender, which was an amazing event for the Avengers, like that's a very good thing. If that like ever became a movie, like maybe he's in there if they don't want to just write him out of it. But he was like pretty important in that, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was really important in it. He was the one that kind of was the one that talked to the game master and kind of
Mm,
changed the game and the stakes of the game at
yeah.
the end. Um, he was like telling them how the losers could have all their like memories wiped.
Hmm.
And the grandmaster was the one who kind of told them like, oh, I don't want to lose everything. So he changed. Uh,
Mm,
so I felt like he had a great showing in that. His powers were
yeah.
exponentially like shown off in that, especially with I think he tried to I think he tried to take on the Hulk and like tried to like shoot him with some crazy energy blast, and like that didn't happen.
L.
Um, I think after he did it, he was like, "That was everything I had." Like,
Mm,
wow.
yeah. But okay.
I mean, that's the
Okay.
Hulk.
All right. I mean, you put the bug in my ear about lightning. I won't lie. I've heard some things that are kind of interesting,
Yeah. I
and
also
the
think
LGBT.
fun, like out there
Gotta
being. I was just about to
support that.
say, you gotta support, the LGBT. I also think that he would be great as a character to explore more things with a gay character that isn't defined by a relationship.
Because he's never had one.
He's never had one. So like you can show it's not like you have to bring in, the boyfriend character too because of a relationship. You can explore that.
He could come
It's not
in
like Wiccan.
and
He's gotta have his
so
boyfriend.
I was actually about to say he can come in and take Teddy from Wiccan if he would
Oh.
like.
No, no. They're too
And
young.
and definitely do that. No, they're like old now. They're like college-ish, I think.
I don't know. I think they're too young for Miguel. Um,
You know, I mean, you know how the gays be.
Child. Now
That's a whole
that's
nother. But he could definitely do that if he wants. I'm here for it.
I feel like they only ever even try to wheel him out now
Hmm.
for like pride events and stuff, and even that is not even picked
Does
up
he
on.
have does he have like a story in the Pride anthology that's coming out? Do you know?
I don't know. I didn't see his name listed there, and I didn't see him on any of the covers either. So maybe I gotta
Oh,
raise hell.
it's time. You gotta start. Put your finger, get it in the people's ear.
See what's up.
Something's going down. He like if that
I think
was.
he's been on covers and stuff, but I don't think he's got a story in it.
Okay.
They only gonna do that for North Star and
Yeah.
Wiccan. And Wiccan. That's how I know
Yeah.
that's how I know for you, like you never gotta worry about not having Wiccan content because Pride Month gonna come around.
Okay. He is like Marvel's gay character now. Is
Yeah. Yeah.
is fantastic. He
There
is
was a
the.
time where I thought that was North Star.
Oh, it was for sure. Especially like once he got married and everything.
Mhm.
And North Star, and I think he was one of the first to come out at Marvel too. He is like the premier gay character, and he's a part of the X Men, which is like everybody knows the X Men. But for the new girls and the young kids,
Wiccan
and
is
and the newer, and like any probably comic book reader, maybe past the 2000s,
Hmm.
Wiccan's your guy.
And you know the gays love a witch. And what is
Gays
he?
love a witch.
He is a boy witch.
Like, he's always gonna be here. Like, what do you mean?
Going
It's
nowhere.
great.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
Lightning should become friends with Wiccan then.
I could see that being like a he's like, his younger sister. you know. Like they could kick his
Oh.
up. I don't know who he should be friends with. Oh, maybe Iceman. I don't know about a relationship, but they could be friends.
Okay. Have like a girls' night issue.
Yeah.
Iceman and Lightning, maybe Dak. And is he still gay or bisexual?
You asking the wrong person. I don't read that book. I don't read that.
Okay. Well, some other people in the community to join them on this little outing. Then I miss when we used to have those type of issues. I always talk about that Outback. I mean, not Outback. The Uncanny X-Men issue, the Girls' Night Out with Storm
Yeah.
and Dazzler. Like truly one of the best comic books of all time. And then whenever Wolverine, Colossus, and Nightcrawler used to have their little outings, great. We need more of those.
Yeah. I feel like they only come up every like annual sometimes now.
Yeah.
Because they do them in the Fantastic Four, like Thing sometimes has his poker nights and he would like invite random people over and stuff like that.
No. Thing's not interesting though. And he's a bit of a
I mean that's fair.
I don't want to read him and his friends.
Yeah.
But if Bobby wants to get Lightning and some of the other kids out to play, we can read that. Because they do always have like Wiccan. Wiccan goes to a lot of like drag brunches, but he's always with like Kate Bishop.
See, he needs some good like gay friends there.
Yeah, because his man is an abuser who keeps him in the house. Emotionally.
Feel like I'm going nowhere.
Emotionally, yeah. But it's okay. We will get
He be
free
right
one
there
day.
too, though. I mean,
He's gonna get free one
he
day.
like it. It seems like he
It's
like
emotional abuse. It's
My
emotional
man.
abuse.
I'm with my man.
He doesn't. It's like Stockholm syndrome. It's like a Stockholm syndrome when someone kind of like beats you down so much, then it's just like he's here now. It's all he knows because he don't got no other friends.
Wiccan shows up, and the first thing he says, "Where's Hulk?" My man, I'm here for my husband.
It's so sad.
He in love. That's his man.
Like
that is the character close-up panel I wanted to do on Lightning. Definitely check him out, y'all, in some of those Avengers West Coast books, and let's see him more out there. And let's take a break, and then we'll come back.
All right. All right, everybody, we are back on the green carpet, and this is everybody's favorite part of the show, another relaunch section. Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
I'll kick it off. Mine is kind of big. I'll kick it off. So, my relaunch is a continuation, basically, of the last panel, and that is Lightning. Okay, it's time. Let's wake it up. Let's bring him on back. Miguel Santos. I would keep him as Lightning, but I want to give him a miniseries, kind of like how they have Reptile has his own miniseries out right now. Kind of reestablishing where he is in the MCU. I mean, I'm sorry, MCU in the 616. I would give Lightning a mini, kind of showing him finishing college and being done with all that and figuring out what he wants to do as far as like his powers and superhero stuff. He's gone past the whole thing with his dad being a villain. I would have him kind of just really more like a slice of life kind of mini where you get to like really establish him. And then after that, I would have him join up with Captain Marvel and have Kelly Thompson really write him and be with that book. I would love for him to go into space and be with the Guardians, but that team's got like 50 fucking members on it. So I'd rather he could get lost in the shuffle, and if he were just with Captain Marvel, he could still go out into space, explore his powers. I think he'd be a fun thing to kind of challenge Carol.
Yeah.
I think that would be a lot of fun. So
Okay, Lightning and Captain Marvel. Then I guess I would not be reading any Lightning content. But good for him to be in the book.
I thought that Kelly was at least gonna get you with Enchantress.
It's because she's trying, but I don't know. It wasn't an alternate reality Enchantress.
Future version of her, yes.
Yeah. So.
But we're back in the present, and we're back with regular Enchantress now. So, but I guess Captain Marvel is getting us on hold right now because of Heroes Reborn. So.
Okay. Here we go. That solves that. Heroes Reborn is so good. But anyways,
is Daredevil coming out still, or is it on pause now too?
No, I don't know. I think that's been coming out on its regular schedule. But I don't know if they count Daredevil as like an Avengers book.
Okay, is it? Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, I think he's more like General Marvel. Because like, obviously, I don't. Yeah, Hulk's still been coming out. Oh, that's a shame that Captain Marvel's considered like an Avenger and not in her own little universe. Okay, that's the thing for another day. My relaunch is a character, one that I really like. So we were just talking earlier about the promos that Marvel put out for the death of Doctor Strange. And so obviously that means if he's dead, we probably don't have a Sorcerer Supreme. So my relaunch goes for one who's actually been the Sorcerer Supreme before, Dr. Voodoo.
Okay.
In this, I would give him another shot at being the Sorcerer Supreme because the first time it honestly wasn't that great. It was just a 5-issue miniseries. If anyone has not gotten it, you should go ahead and go get it. It was written by Rick Remender. But in this one, I feel like we spoke about how Doctor Strange's books don't tend to do well. And we wonder why that is. And I think it's because it's kind of vague what he does. We get that he's like the Sorcerer Supreme. He is like oversees all of magic, but we don't really know what magic is in the Marvel universe that well. And I don't think it's something that's ever gotten a good definition. So in this, I would also give him his own series, but I would have him exploring all the different aspects of Marvel in the Marvel universe and kind of figuring out how it works and what actually is he overseeing and what does he does. Because it's like, yes, he's voodoo, but it's like, are you overseeing Atlantean magic? Like, what does that mean to you as the Sorcerer Supreme? Like, how are these people using their powers and how is that affecting you? And then we also get to explore a little bit more of it. And for that, I would have him bring someone along, and that would be Scarlet Witch.
I had a feeling she was coming.
It would be Scarlet Witch, A, because I actually like the relationship that they had in Uncanny Avengers. If anyone didn't know, they like got together for a little bit, and I think they're really fun together. And B, Wanda just kind of, she deserves to be somewhere right now. Like,
she doesn't have a story.
She just had a hit TV
other
series.
humans have a story, but she doesn't.
Yeah, and it's like she doesn't really have too much to do, and I think she's kind of done this whole exploration of magic before in her own series that she had, but it was more so of like witchcraft and like what that meant to her. So I think like bringing her on that journey and her knowledge and what she knows, it will be a fun dynamic.
That's interesting. I've seen some people wonder if she was going to be the Sorcerer Supreme and kind of get that kind of the role that you were giving for Dr. Voodoo, where it's kind of defining what even the Sorcerer Supreme does. Because I always assume he's supposed to be like protecting Earth from something. I don't know. No, I don't know.
And I can and I've tried a few Doctor Strange books before, and I honestly can't tell you what happened to any of them. And it's crazy because he gets very high profile themes on his books.
Yeah.
And they just don't. I don't know. But that was my thing. Dr. Voodoo, let him try to be Sorcerer Supreme again. He'd be working with Wanda, defining magic. We'd get to see them going around to different places, seeing their relationship kind of bloom and how it works. Maybe it begin to appearance from Wiccan or 3.
Interesting. Wiccan showing up.
Meet Stepdaddy.
That would be cute. He would meet Hulkling too.
No.
I know he ain't gonna be too far behind him.
He can't leave space. So he's gonna stay right where he is.
Well, all right, y'all. Thanks so much for listening. This brings us to the end of the show. Please make sure you are following us on Twitter and Instagram. We are definitely going to be doing a giveaway when Planet-Size X-Men comes out, so definitely pay attention for that. You can find us on Twitter at Another Relaunch, as well as on Instagram at Another Relaunch. You can find us on YouTube, and if you want to watch the show, at Another Relaunch TV. You can find me at Uncanny LZ on most social media platforms. Keenan, where can they find you?
You guys know you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Keenan Lance. There's an underscore at the end.
Oh, that's right. All right, y'all. So let's get up out of here, and we'll catch y'all next week.
Peace.